Okay, good morning everyone. My name is Cherry and I'm an English teacher from Taipei泉源Experimental Primary School. And my topic for today is applying adventure-based learning in language teaching. And here's my outline. I will start off by giving you an overview of my action research, and then I will share some teaching ideas with you. And for the last section, I will tell you my reflection of this program. Okay, so why do I want to use adventure-based learning in my English class? There are two reasons. And for the first one, I'm going to talk about the background of my students, because my school is located in Yangming Mountain, and this is a small size of school. We have only 76 students in my school. And lots of my students come from struggling family and low-income family, and also 30% of them are raised by single parents or grandparents. So I think poverty diminishes a child's ability to concentrate and memorize information, and it also reduces their attentiveness and motivation, and also the lack of engagement in the classroom. So that's a situation happened in my English class. The kids, he didn't want to learn English, so he just lying down on the ground and say, I hate English, I hate English. And also there are the second problems I met. There is some kind of bullying situation happen in the classroom. So that's a reason why I want to use the ABL to solve the problem. So what is adventure-based learning? It's just concerned with two relationships, interpersonal and intrapersonal. And the point is we try to use the sequence activities for the personal and social development of those participants. And there are some key points to successful implementation. The first one is appropriate sequencing of activities. And for the second one is facilitation of the activities. And for the third one is processing of the activities. And you can see later on I will choose the three kinds of my ABL activities, and those include all those sequences like communication, cooperation, trust, problem solving, and challenging. So my research question is, can adventure-based learning improve students' engagement? And there are three types of engagement. The first one is cognitive engagement, where students are engaged with their progress or a progression or process of their learning. And for the behavior engagement, where the students are show that they are willing and trying to learn. And for the emotional engagement, which makes that students feel secure in the relationship of their teachers, classmates, and school. And my desired end result is the increase of those three types of engagement. And the method I use is adventure-based learning, and the specific student population is my first grader students in the remedial program, and also the second graders and first graders. So how do I gather the data? I administered a pre-questionnaire to my students to get the baseline data, and then I work with my students by using the ABL. And then after that, I just administered a post-questionnaire, and I want to see the increase on those engagements. And I also get some feedbacks from my students, and my focus group of the observation part is those students who have learning difficulty and who have less motivation toward learning English. And this is the questionnaire I give to my students. And I just take one participant. For example, you can see the changes after I applied the ABL in my English lesson. And those are the feedbacks from my students. And you can see that I really love this kind of activities in English class. Okay, so that's the result. So I think adventure-based learning is suitable for small size of a class, and it also suitable for students who have learning difficulty and students in remedial program. And it can definitely improve the students' cognitive, behavioral, and emotional engagement. And from my survey, over 90% of students love this kind of activities. So that is the students. Right now, he become a leader in his learning group. And also a video from his homeroom teacher. He did this in his recess, and let's see what he did.
Buns.
Bone.
Cakes.
Cake.
Snack.
Snack.
Drinks.
In his break time, he tried to use the kind of platform called Crazy Life, and he wanted to learn more about English class because he loved those activities in the English class. So he said to his homeroom teacher that he wants to practice more and he can beat others. So I think that's the power of adventure-based learning. Okay, so here are some of my some of the FAL activity that my students love the most. The first one is crossing the Amazon. What teacher need to prepare is some kind of lily pad with talking words and some sticks. And the instruction is I will divide my class into 2 groups, and each group will get a set of magic lily pad. And it's just a flashcard in the lily pad shape. And they need to ask me a question based on the textbook. And I will give them a clue, and then they need to find the correct lily pad and using a limited lily pad to get their group members across the floor, the classroom floor, which means the Amazon River. And I will set a time limit to make the game more challenging. So for this one of the example here, the topic of the lesson is food. And student will ask me, what would you like to eat? And I will give them, my answer is, I like some dumplings and French fries. So they need to find out the flashcards which has the dumplings and French fries on it. And they need to use only the limited lily pad to get all his group members across the river. So they need to discuss with each other. That's a kind of like the problem-solving activities. For the second one, it's called paper holding game. And I will form into teams of 3 to 5 people, and I will give them direction. And then 2 of them from each group, they need to find the correct sheet of paper. And some of the sheet of paper, they have some talking words on it. And they need to hold one sheet of paper between the palms of one of their hands back to their team. And also each team is challenged to assist 2 of their group members to hold as many pieces of paper off the ground by using only their bodies. And I will put some hoops and cones on the ground to make the game more challenging. So this is one of the topic, and this is the 3rd grade and 6th grader, and the topic is word family. So 2 of their group members, they need to find the correct word family cards. For example, I will ask them, please find the S family. So they need to find out maybe Pat and some kind of the words like that. And they need to come back and just stick those paper on their group member's body. And for the third one is what's a password. And students need to stand in a line and side by side and hand in hand. And each space between 2 people stand for 1 letter. And the captain, the first one, and the last person from each group, they need to walk through the spaces correspond to the right letters. And the first team complete the task wins the game. So this is my 1st grader, and the topic is the alphabet from A to G. And they will ask me what's a password, and I will reply them my password is BCAGDF. And this is a kind of a practice of letter name, and I can also use it in prefix letter sound, like my password is book at g. So they are very crazy for this game. So a reflection of this program, I think the most very real things I learned at University of Auckland is student learning differentiation instruction, inquiry-based learning, and curriculum integration. So what I've done right now is I integrate technology in my English lessons, and I try to help my students facilitate their learning. And I use a KWLA chart in each lesson because I want to stimulate my students to ask meaningful questions. And I also set up a website. This is for level readers, and I just apply different tasks for students at different English proficiency levels, and they have to finish a Google form as for comprehension test. After they finish their reading. And I also integrate different subjects in my English class, such as arts, PE, and science. So I just try to mix the picture books and the artwork together. So my students just make this by themselves after they finish reading the Go Away Big Green Monster. And for our Halloween party, I use this kind of worksheet to teach them how to make their pumpkin, how to bring their pumpkin alive. And they try hard to understand each word on the worksheet by themselves, and use a kind of the apps to bring their pumpkins alive and talk. And I also use some hoops and some cones in my English class, and every time they just jump into one hoop, they need to say out loud the words. And this is one of my students. He just used a kind of app called Quiver and make a story for his pumpkins.
Once upon a time, there was lots of pumpkins live in a cave. Everyone who goes in a cave, they will be frightened by the pumpkins. The pumpkins are mother and father. The biggest pumpkin is a father. The second biggest pumpkin is a mother. The third pumpkin is a brother. And they all live together in a cave. Every time they come out to fight, they find animals to eat in the night.
Okay, and yeah, I think the technology can boost students' creativity, and my students love it, like the way to learn new things. And this is my English class right now. My students have the autonomy to choose a topic they want to have. For example, this student here, he wants to share some Taiwan temple cultures to his classmates. So he never did his homework at home, but because of this presentation, he just borrowed the laptop from his cousins and did this at home. So I think that really impressed me a lot. And also, I just used some board games and some iPad Chromebooks in my classroom, try to facilitate students. So that's all for today. Thanks for listening.